for nearly a half-century has been one of the great rivalries in the NFL. Dallas and Washington coming up next here on CBS as we continue our Super Bowl season. Hello, friends. Jim Nantz, along with Tracy Wolfson and Tony Romo, who knows all about this intense matchup.
We're back in the NFC East right here in Washington, Dallas. You know, this feels like home a little bit here, but we're going to find out today. These two teams, both of them need it. Well,
the Redskins come in at 3-2. The Cowboys at 3 up, 3 down, having won all of their starts at home, but 0-3 on the road. Redskins defer here at the start, so they're going to send the football down to the Cowboys. Deontay Thompson. And we'll bring out Dak Prescott and the Cowboys to the 25. Prescott, 4 career starts against Washington, and he's 4-0. Had a very solid game last week, Tony. We saw it down in Dallas, a blowout win over Jacksonville.
And boy, they needed it. You know, they were coming in, a lot of talk that whole week about this offense and how they're going to get it turned around, and big performance. They got to do it on the road today. Today is important for a lot of reasons.
It's a gusty day in the area. As Elliott gets the first handle, and Zeke with a gain of about 3. He's second in the league in rushing coming into the week. About to join the full nation audience. I'd like to welcome everyone to Dallas and Washington. Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson. This is going to be the second snap of the game after a 3-yard carry by Zeke Elliott. The Cowboys 2nd and 7. And play action fake. Prescott hit when he threw it, and that was in the direction of Beasley, who's coming off his biggest game.
Well, I can tell you right now, this is the biggest part of the game will be the pressure up front and their ability, as you see the great commentators you're going to see today. Jim Nantz, Tracy Wolfson, Gene Steratore, and
who's that other guy?
Myself.
The guy who's been in this building a few times for this very matchup.
That was a big play that was wide open right there. Pressured by the line of the Redskins, going to be the key to the game. Watch the left guard matchup. We'll see it over and over again if the Cowboys can protect Prescott and give him time to throw.
That left guard is the rookie Connor Williams. It's 3rd and 7. Here come the Redskins. Prescott's got an open field. Big lane for him, and he takes off for another big carry, coming off his biggest rushing performance of his career, 82 yards last week. And it's going to be probably a hold on the left tackle.
Offense, 7. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So John Hussey indeed confirms it. That'll bring it back. Dak with his legs last week was a big factor in that game early against Jacksonville.
Well, you see the hold on the left side, and you're exactly right. His legs were key to the game. But what Jacksonville thought was that they could rush 4 against this offensive line, and they were wrong. A lot more pressure earlier in the year, especially on the road against Dallas, and that's why they've struggled in the passing game. Today, they need to get the ball out of his hands early if they're going to come after him.
So an obvious hold. It did look like Prescott got up a bit gimpy. 22-yard run washed away with the holding call. 3rd and 17. Going for the deep ball. And that was intercepted by Swearinger.
Oh, no way he was in.
What a catch.
That's an amazing catch.
It's going to be the equivalent, though, of a long punt in the end. But was he out? They say it was incomplete. Now, he doesn't know it yet.
Look at this catch. 1 foot in. Ooh. No, the ball kind of bounces anyway. Yeah, it's going to be out.
Pretty great effort, though. Look at this.
That's incredible. Washington, big 3-and-out to start the game. These battles have been close, and then Dallas has pulled away because their running game in the last couple of years. That's why you go draft those big boys.
Chris Jones. Yeah, they would have wished that was intercepted because they get about 10 yards closer down the field off the punt of 34 yards. Stroman with the fair catch. Alex Smith coming out. While they get ready to huddle, we get ready to go to Tracy Wolfson.
Jim, consistency has been an issue for both of these teams. But specifically for the Washington Redskins, a lot has to do with players coming in and going out. And specifically again today, they are without Jamison Crowder, without Paul Richardson, Chris Thompson out as well. Adrian Peterson, though, active, dealing with the ankle, the knee, the separated shoulder. He's wearing a harness, but he told me he is full go, Jim.
So that's just amazing. We got somebody a little jumpy here, and they whistle it dead to see the Redskins without their starting receivers. She just reported, Tracy, with Crowder and Richardson out, and Thompson such a threat in the passing game. All that means, I would think, is a whole lot of Adrian Peterson today. And let's see what Alex Smith will do, too. Of course, coming by way of trade from Kansas City in the offseason, 14th year out of Utah, former overall #1 pick out of the 2005 draft. All of his touchdown passes, he's thrown 6 on the season. They've all come in the first half. It's been a mighty struggle for the Redskins offense in the second half of the games. Nice little jump cut. Look at Peterson. Get within a yard of the first. That's a gain of 4. Second and 1 coming up. And the Redskins offense without the 2 wideouts. We're going to see a whole lot of Doxson today. Of course, you got some guys at tight end that can really produce, like Jordan Reed, Vernon Davis.
Well, Smith had Davis at San Francisco young in his career, and they really have a rapport, and they're doing well. Reed's the big guy, though. He's the guy that can really be the big mismatch, and they can use him different ways. And right now you're seeing shotgun. This is rare for Peterson. I'll get into that in a second.
Well, they hand it off to him. He's looking for any kind of opening, and he finds it to pick up the first down.
You see, Peterson's never run out of shotgun much in his career when he was younger, and now they're starting to do it because Alex Reed has a lot of history in that. It's an extra runner you have to account for in the run game with the quarterback, and it's kind of opening up the eyes a little bit of this offensive system using that. They're just getting to learn Alex and some of the stuff he did in the past, and they're starting to kind of know each other. I think this is just going to keep improving this Redskins offense.
Going against the Cowboys defense that welcomes the return of Sean Lee, who had been out 3 games with a hamstring. It's Peterson, and Jalen Smith wraps him up along with Lee. But another good game. Give him 7. Yeah, the Cowboys defense, particularly when you talk about linebackers, they've had Lee out again for 3 weeks. But Jalen Smith, he's been something else. And Leighton Vander Esch, the rookie out of Boise State. Those two look like they're going to be pillars of that defense for a long time.
Absolutely. You've seen Sean Lee have, just a few injuries over the years. They wanted to make sure they solidified that. They've done that. Today is going to be a good test for them, though, with a lot of misdirection stuff here.
2nd and 3, and right over the outstretched arms of Wilson. It is caught by Doxson for a first down.
This is perfect throw and risky throw. See, Alex talking to him. One thing with Alex Smith, oh my gosh, that's just over his hand. He has to throw the ball a little bit quicker. He's got to trust the system. He hasn't run it a lot. He's learning it each week, each game. And you saw right there, he goes through his progression, lets it go. That's what the coaches want to see. That was outstanding.
So, first down from the 23. Some technical difficulties with the game clock, and we'll be all over that as Peterson wiggles his way back to the line for no gain. Back to what you were saying about Alex Smith. When you come into a new system, of course, this is his 3rd stop, drafted by the 49ers, traded to the Chiefs, and then traded here in the offseason. The process that you go through to start meshing. He even told us yesterday it took almost 5 years in Kansas City before it was fully developed.
Yeah, and they started using, as he got more and more into it, they started using some of the stuff he did in college. He's getting these coaches to kind of do the same thing, and they're taking it and looking at it. That's why you see the shotgun runs and some of that stuff. You have to account for the quarterback in shotgun.
Well, here he is on play action, dumping it off. Complete to Bibbs. Bibbs breaks free for a touchdown. That's the first opening drive touchdown allowed by the Cowboys in the last 12 games. Capri Bibbs, 23 yards, catch and run for the score.
Boy, the Redskins are rocking here. Watch this. It's a fake, and then it's just a screen, and Frazier comes up to try and make the tackle. And you see, I think, going to be the All-Pro this year, Brandon Scherf, playing some of the best football that you watch on tape at a guard position in the NFL.
Bibbs in the lineup because Chris Thompson again is inactive, limited with rib and knee injuries all week, and a scratch today. Extra point. Hopkins is good. What an opening drive, doing something Cowboys had not allowed since middle of last season. So many of the legends of the game know about this rivalry. The Roger Staubachs and Tom Landry's, old number 9, George Allen, John Riggins, on and on. Dallas and Washington, yes, the rivalry continues on CBS.
That was pretty cool seeing those.
Yeah.
I can remember as a kid just watching this rivalry. It was, I think it was Madden Summer all those years.
All the time. Twice a year. Part of the fabric of the network for such a long, long time. It's been 25 years since Dallas and Washington appeared on CBS television network, and we're happy to be back with it as the Redskins put up an opening touchdown drive. And what would this game mean to you when you would see it show up? It was Washington week.
Well, a couple things. One, it was one of the more physical games we played. Every time we got done with this game, it almost felt like 2 guys were hurt or banged up, like that were really good players, and the next week was always tough. The emotions are real high. You know, I know that you felt it in the street, and especially when you get to Washington and everyone's like, we're getting after you this week. We're gonna, you know, you're gonna be on the dirt a lot. You know, I'm trying to find the right words that aren't, you know, exactly how they said it. See Jack come up.
Good pass by Prescott, and it's caught by Gallup, and the rookie has a first down catch, 10 yards as you see the Cowboy lineup going by. Again, Looney at center, and that's been a big storyline for the Cowboys early in the season with Travis Frederick out with that autoimmune disorder.
Yeah, and you know, that's one thing they talk about on the road. It's been a little bit of struggle for the Cowboys for multiple reasons, and hopefully we can get into that here as you see both guards pull.
And Elliott nowhere to go. Swearinger comes up, and man, is he fired. He always is fired up and intense. A near pick, and now a tackle for a loss of 2 already in this game.
Well, you see that both guards are pulling. This has been a staple play where they get a lot of yards throughout the year. The Redskins now, they went and drafted these 2 big guys inside, Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen from Alabama, and they are ready for this game. That's why they got these guys.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you. Pizza Hut, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. And by Ram Trucks.
Nearby Mount Vernon, Fairfax County, Virginia, the country home of George Washington. Okay, Preston Smith walked to the sideline, appeared to be okay. 2nd and 11, coming out of that injury timeout. And now from the shotgun, going to give it back to Elliott, who gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Why have the Cowboys struggled so much on the road, 0-3?
Well, what happens on the road are 2 things. One, the communication up front has to happen very quickly. So the quarterback lifts his leg up in shotgun, and all of a sudden the ball is going to come up and get snapped. When you're at home, you can talk to the receiver on the other side of the field and be like, hey, move your split in 2 yards. Come down a little bit. Hey, run a slant. The center can talk to the left tackle by just saying a word. On the road, you got to pass it to a guy, to a guy, to a guy, and they're just not all in sync getting that communication over and over again, as you see a offside, I think, by Washington.
Encroachment, defense, number 41, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
In fact, the Cowboys in their 3 road losses, 0-3 again, have scored only 37 points.
Well, the quarterback has, you know, this is the part where as Dak continues to gain confidence, you know, just in the ability to line of scrimmage. He can do so much on the road. And as you get more accustomed to the offense and what you're doing, you start taking more control. That gives you a lot more advantage. Now you got to communicate to everybody as you see him right there. He's got to tell where the middle linebacker is, who we're blocking, signal a guy outside, who's got the right matchup.
Here's the 3rd and 5. In trouble. Backpedals to get away. And the pass is going to come up about a half yard short. Swaim with the grab off the ground. Just above the ground, but it's not going to be enough. Cowboys offense stays on the field. 4th and 1.
Swaim runs up and runs the old Witten Y option. And the ball just should be banged right when you turn. Dak had to slide in the pocket. It was really a good job by Swaim. They're going for this right here, early in the game for this. Boy, you tell Jason Garrett he didn't go for it one time. He's going to go for it forever after that.
And
oh, the ball's out.
Prescott with Swearinger with the recovery.
Did you see that? I didn't even know that. I was like, he's diving for a ball.
He was diving off his right side. And look at that. It was Swearinger who knocked it out. And the Redskins take over. Tonight on 60 Minutes, have you or a family member contributed to solving a crime without even knowing it? Plus, hunting with Golden Eagles. That's tonight, only 60 minutes. Prescott going for it on 4th down. Coughs it up off the blow by Swearinger. And the Redskins with a short field to start their 2nd series. The give. Peterson, who hops right into the handoff and then jumps ahead to about the 42.
Well, you're going to see the touchdown by Bibbs and the handoff, and what a great block by Sheriff. And then you see, look at these angles and these blocks. Perfect, perfect, perfect. There's a great lane for Bibbs just to run right through. He sees it. You see that cool vision by the running back's angle. Wow, outstanding up front. And really blocking all the way around.
Back to the shotgun now for Smith on 2nd and 7. He's going to his old teammate over his head. Going for Vernon Davis. We have an update, but a flag first. The update coming involves the overtime game between Tampa and Cleveland.
Not another Cleveland overtime.
Browns. That's just basically standard fare, isn't it? It's just overtime virtually every week.
Every week. I feel like this is the 3rd or 4th time they've had
Wait
one.
till you see how this one ended. If these guys can ever sort it out, we'll show you.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 18. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Call on Doxson. And here you go. We've teased it long enough. JB and Phil, it's all yours.
Jim, it was Tampa on the good foot.
And you're right. Every week with Cleveland, it's an exciting game. Chandler Cannonzaro, 59 yards out in overtime to win the game 26-23, Tampa Bay.
Jim Nance, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson.
So the Browns fall to 2-4-1, and Tampa increases or improves to 3-3. Had that not gone through from 59, you could have been looking at a 2-3-2 Browns team as Smith goes underneath and the ball was never caught. That was Bibbs who caught the touchdown.
And that's where you miss Thompson right there. That was outstanding getting through the progression by Smith. 1, 2, 3, boom. And that puts you in a manageable 3rd down distance. And now it's not really manageable. You need something really to go your way here.
And of course, you mentioned it, you're without Thompson, who's so good out of the backfield, and you're without Paul Richardson and Jamison Crowder. Watch number 13, though, Maurice Harris. They're really high on him. He's on the right side. And there he is, Harris. Our audio is not going into the helmets, but they go to Harris And Harris is starting to emerge a little bit for them. Third-year player out of Cal Berkeley, undrafted into the league. It's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, they like him. You know, when Crowder's not out there, they get the guy who's, you know, he's longer than Crowder, and so he kind of can do some interesting things. But he's going to get the ball today.
Here's Tressway to punt it. End over end, and the catch at the 15 by Beasley. 28 yards on the punt. See if the Cowboys offense can somehow get going. Down 7-0. Redskins on a Bibbs touchdown.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Wendy's new Sauce'em Bacon Classic Cheeseburger. And by Verizon. The best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network.
A recent Redskins event at Hart Middle School designed to encourage a healthy lifestyle and assist 7th grade students in the development of their own personalized 2-week fitness plan. All right, Cowboys back at the 15-yard line. 3rd time they've had the football. Done very little with it so far. First down run. Elliott for about 3, maybe 4. Tracy, down to you.
Jim, we saw Redskins linebacker Preston Smith get hurt on that last drive. It was a left ankle injury. They taped him up. He tested it out on the sideline, and he is back out there now.
Okay, so Preston Smith, drafted in the 2nd round out of Mississippi State 3 years ago. Again, the last 2 years, as Tony alluded to, they've gone defensive lineman out of Alabama. We're going to keep an eye on them all day long. Allen and Payne, 2nd and 7. Squeezing through an opening, and the catch is made by Hearns, but immediately twisted down by Norman, who closed in him on him quickly.
Well, you're going to see the tough matchup for Dallas, and that's why they're bringing the center Looney over to help Williams as he goes against Deron Payne. And Allen Hearns with a good curl route.
Just the 9th catch of the year, Tony, for Hearns, who was a offseason free agent signee by way of Jacksonville. There were a lot of big expectations for him.
Yeah, it's, you know, he's a possession receiver. He does a lot of things well, but in this offense, they're starting to now figure out who's who and where they can play. He's the starting receiver to the wide side of the field.
3rd and 1, plowing ahead for the 1st down. Zeke Elliott has the 1st down. They brought in on that play a tight end that they're high on. The Cowboys, you'll see him, number 86, Dalton Schultz, 4th rounder out of Stanford. He was in on that last play, and they're going to be seeing him a time or two today. They're high on his ability to do a whole lot of things. Pass game, blocking.
Yeah, well, he came from Stanford, like you said, and that means they're going to bootleg a little bit. That means that's his history. He's going to block a little bit more. They're playing him a little bit more because they think he's probably got a little bit of background in that.
From the 26. Timeout called. What, as you can see, they just barely beat the play clock. So how hard was it for you when you played here? I mean, I know you had success here.
Yeah, I mean,
you felt like you always had some Cowboys support in the stands too.
Yeah,
in Washington.
And you know, that's the one thing. There's a lot of fans up here that support, you know, the Cowboys, and I think that was the one game they were going to make sure and get a ticket for. But this place could get rocking when it was. And this team, if you know, they probably have only been good a few times, and when they were, it was loud, it was aggressive, and you know this fan base is just dying to just jump out and get on this bandwagon. They just need something to jumpstart. They've just been too win-loss for so long now.
So, 1st down. Here's your bootleg you talked about one play ago, and it is to Schultz. That's what they did with him. Good call, Tony. And it's good for a 1st down.
And this is Dalton Schultz. That's what he does.
Yep, that's his 1st NFL catch. Here's a memory for you. Back in December of 2013, Cowboys led early, and our own Tony Romo found Dez. 14-yard touchdown pass to extend the Cowboys' lead. But the Redskins never went away, and Alfred Morris had a touchdown late, but then that play on 4th down, Tony. 4th down from the 10 to DeMarco Murray, and the Cowboys won it. And meantime, Look at Zach Brown wrap up Zeke for a loss.
You know, that fourth down, I still remember that drive. We went down to the 1 yard line, you know, in the final 2-minute type drive, and so there's a minute to go. And you're like, okay, we're going to win this. Should we run the clock? We got a good old line. We run it, and I'm like, hey, let's throw it on second down to make sure. But the coaches call 3 runs. We lose 10 yards.
Oh, my goodness.
And they're like, okay, now we're going to throw it. It's 4th and 11. Here you go. And I was like, thanks. I'll just, let's see if I can just get an 11-yarder here, just set up perfectly. Caught a break, but we got it done.
2nd and 11. And they get a little bit of it back. It'll be 3rd and about 4. And you had surgery the next day after that.
Yeah, don't remind me. That was a bad night the next day because that was to keep us in the playoff hunt. I mean, if we lost that one, and then the next day we had to get surgery. I couldn't play in the season finale against the Eagles to get in the playoffs. So that was tough. Happens in football.
How was that one ranked with your all-time wins? The one here we just showed.
It's up there. It's definitely pretty high up there just for going through tough stuff. 3rd down here.
3rd and 6, need to get out to about the 48. Turns around, getting chased. He's going to dive, still well short of the first.
Oh, no.
Quite a hit.
Oh, that's a concussion. Helmet, yeah, he's going to be done. Look at, he doesn't know where he is.
It was Greg Stroman who hit him on the sideline.
Well, look at, he's in the air, and you're going to see the helmet right there. Oh, oof. My gosh. It's incredible effort by Dak. Oh, that's right to the crown in the front. Well, that's the shoulder. That's still
the shoulder that hit him.
You could see he's trying to get his bearings. I can remember that happened a few times when you're young. You're just trying to kind of grasp it and oof.
Stroman, who just made the hit, is back for the return as the Cowboys take Prescott to the bench.
That's going to be huge to find out if he can pass, the concussion test. He's got to go through all that protocol right now over there.
Jones sends it down. Stroman fakes as if he's going to make the catch and let it go over his head smartly for just a net of 33. We're back in 30 seconds after this from Lowe's. Okay, there were 3 or 4 members of the medical crew around Prescott for a while there, and now they've all walked away.
Well, that tells me then that he told them I'm fine, and if Cooper Rush isn't warming up, then he's going to be fine. I just think that was a big blow that you got to account for, but he's a tough guy. He may be okay.
Peterson, meanwhile, tries to get outside, and the Cowboys had that side covered, including Lawrence. Loss of 1. So Tyrone Crawford over there, and the Cowboys defense sets him back a yard. So you see again Sean Lee coming back. He's been alternating already in this game with Van Der Esch. The leadership that he brings to this defense, how do you measure it?
It's almost unmeasurable. The reason these other 2 backers are playing so well, a lot of that's because of him.
2nd and 11. Smith, well protected. Gives him time to find the man at the 35-yard line. That's Jordan Reed for 16.
And this is the player that you need to really account for. Outstanding job. Reed has the ability to separate in man coverage and give the quarterback easy throws, but that was an outstanding throw by Smith, standing in there. And they're obviously going through the blue tent protocol.
Into the tent, into the quarter. You're watching the NFL on CBS. We welcome you back. Landover, Maryland. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson. And they continue to go through the concussion protocol with Dak Prescott.
Yeah, and they have to. I mean, it was just too much of a helmet, where you could see his head go back. And it's the right thing to do. But they're determining now. They're going to make him do a couple tests, different things. This is really obviously important for the Cowboys' chances today.
Here's Peterson. Look at that move. Froze him for a moment, took a loss, and turned it into a 16-yard gain.
Wow, what a run by Peterson. Oh. He ain't that old, I tell you what.
33, you'd never know it. Let's go to Tracy.
Well, guys, Dak Prescott just came out of the blue tent. They put his jacket on. He's sitting on the bench right now. I can tell you that they went through the proper protocol. Up until that point, I don't know, but they did review it on the monitor. They went inside. The independent neurologist was looking at him inside that blue tent. What they have determined, we have not yet received that information, and as soon as we do, I will certainly pass it on.
Thank you, Tracy. Consecutive 16-yard gains by the Redskins, as Peterson this time is swarmed under, and you saw him go back to the bench with an assistant next to him, looking at some plays and diagramming. What's your guess?
I think he's playing. Have Cooper Rush would still be warming up right now, as you see the play that got him dinged up a little bit. Yeah, you can tell it's. Yeah, but if you're Cooper Rush right here and you're the backup, you aren't just sitting there with your coat on. You are. That tells me that Dak's got to be going back in this game.
He got 2 or 3 warm-up throws in, and then put the jacket back on. 2nd and 14, setting up the screen to Bibbs, and look at Sean Lee. Read that play and stop it for no gain.
And this is why Sean Lee has this rare ability. I'm going to go back, I'm going to cover nope. Instead of going to my spot, I take off, because I've watched so much tape. I know football, I have great instincts, and this is what separates him from other great players they have on that defense. He's rare.
You've always told me he's like a quarterback on defense.
He is. He knows the game so well. It's just, you don't find guys who know it that well.
3rd and 14. And flags in the play is whistled dead.
Full start. Offense, number 86. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
On Jordan Reed. We'll call it 3rd and 19 coming up. Tracy, back to you.
Jim, the official word from the Cowboys is that he has been cleared of a concussion. And one other note, before he went into the blue tent, athletic trainers were looking at his left hand. So certainly something to keep an eye on going forward, Jim.
Okay. Here you go, 3rd and forever. Cowboys flushing the quarterback out of the pocket, and Smith just avoids the sack and picks up 4 or 5. And now they'll be punting the football back to the Cowboys, and we'll see Prescott back on the field. All of the protocol and the monitoring and the independent neurologist, this was starting to come about really late in your career. How many times did you have to deal with it?
Not too much, because it really was just starting as I was getting toward the end. But when I was young, I can remember see Beasley. Ooh.
Beasley from the 10. And the Redskins have that covered up at the 16.
Yeah, just, you have it. I used to wake up when I was get hit and dinged up, and I'd be like, just give me a second. It's coming back to me. The stars are going away. And Dak is back. Well, the Redskins defense, outstanding to start. You see 9 guys up near the line of scrimmage, and everyone selling out to stop this run. And then all of a sudden you get Swearinger right down by the line, and it's making it difficult on the Cowboys. And this is why Dallas has won the last few years. They've shredded them in the run game, and it's allowed them just to bootleg and make easy passes for chunk plays, and they're not getting that today.
Cowboys have swept the Redskins each of the last 2 years. Nowhere to go. And even just fighting to get back to the line, but doesn't make it. Look at smelling salts when he's coming back onto the field.
Yeah, we had those in the weight room. You'd have like ammonia or something, and it just kind of gives you a little woo, right to the get you going.
Yeah, it means there's still cobwebs. 2nd and 11. I'm surprised he's back out there. Went through it all, though. Here's the pass. What a pass it was, too. That had some heat behind it.
Well, that's how you're going to win. It's cover 2, and all of a sudden, look at the blocking. It's the way to do it. But you're going to have to stand in under duress, and it's a pretty good job by Williams against Payne. And Dak steps into that throw and fires. And you see, this is how they're going to need, in a tough game, tough environment, to move the ball. You got to throw contested throws, getting hit. Well done.
He's hit his last 6 passes. That one to Gallup for 22. And waiting for that to open up, but it never does develop. Elliott again contained. Your first chance to look at these defensive linemen that Bruce Allen and the Redskins went out the last 2 years, and back-to-back first rounds. They go out of Alabama with defensive linemen Jonathan Allen, and then this year Payne.
Yeah, and Ioannidis is playing well too. They got a bunch of guys up there. They're missing the speed guys still, but they're good.
They bring a lot of folks here as the pass is thrown to Hearns. He's going to be a few yards shy of a first, 3rd and short coming up. They have that defensive front for Washington has certainly contained Elliott to this point. 8 carries, 8 yards.
It's exactly why you said that's why you go make the draft the way they have these last few years. And it was a conscious decision to stop getting beat in the big boy game in the trenches. And you're seeing it play out here. And Dak needs to play like he's playing right now. He's got to let that ball rip and throw it. And that's how they're going to win this game today, it looks like.
To call it 3rd and a short 4. Going to take off for it. He dives and has the first. Able to duck under some of those defenders that were flying toward him.
Looking at Beasley, comes back across, and this is why they moved the chain so well last week. For multiple things they did at a high level, but Dak's ability to extend the play, and
I'm not sure I'd be going head first about right now. You know?
He's good. Trying to get that as a quarterback. You're trying to get that first down. And Garrett's just, I just don't understand what's going on.
New set of downs at the 47. That pass broken up by Norman. That was intended for Deontay Thompson, and Norman got a hand in there, coming off his finest game in a long time last week with a pick and a forced fumble as well.
It's close there. Norman just does a good job.
We talked to Norman yesterday over at the facility, and we asked him about this defense trying to get its identity. What would you say? How would you define it? He says, we're still developing that, but it's going to come through our line.
That's exactly. He thinks this defense is predicated. They're not going to beat your scheme with all this cool tricked up stuff. They're going to line up and play and rush that guy up front. 2nd
and 10, setting up the screen. And they do a good job containing it. Elliott with a flag down, picked up about 5.
Possible illegal chop block, maybe. I could call it a different way, but that was close. And there was actually a great call for timing-wise, because Washington was coming after Dallas, and that's when you want to throw your screen.
Personal foul, chop block, offense, 15 yards from the spot of the foul, 2nd down.
Yeah, you can't have 2 guys at the same time. Now watch right there, 1 guy up high and 1 guy low. That's how injuries happen. It's the correct call. Can't push him high and have a different guy low on the defender.
And the Cowboys have to retreat back to the 32. 2nd and 25. Underneath, and only good for about 6. Buried quickly by Mason Foster. You know, these big games that Elliott's had against Washington. I mean, my goodness, last year He had 150 on the ground, including a couple of touchdowns. We were asking Josh Norman, how do you feel about when you see Elliott breaking into the secondary coming toward you? He said, I'd welcome that. I welcome that.
He wasn't joking either. I mean, he's like, come on, bring it on. Gotta like those guys with that attitude.
3rd and 20. Skins rush 4. And it's enough to get to him and throw him down at the 29 with Jonathan Allen on the sack.
Wow, this is going to be a twist. And you'll see they kind of wait for the other guy. And when that happens, this is the communication I'm talking about that no one knows. At home, Tyron Smith and Williams are saying, switch, switch, switch. And they hear each other. On the road, it's loud. You don't hear that. So you have to have your eyes up and see everything. And that's just subtle, but it's big.
There's Jones with the punt. Strowman lets it bounce around. And it's only to about the 34 as a 35-yard punt. Redskins coming back out. Defense has been something else so far. 7-0 Washington.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Gillette, the best a man can get. The Grinch, in theaters November 9th. And by the Crown Royal Water Break. Moderate your drinking on game day.
Right down the road from the Air and Space Museum. Not a whole lot happening through the air here at Landover, Maryland. Second quarter, and 7-0 Redskins lead it. A little toss here to Peterson, and again it didn't look like there's a whole lot there, but he makes 9 yards out of it.
And that's why I think you're seeing a little resurgence. He's still good, but Adrian, he's in the shotgun now. He got so many different plays to run from, and
it's working every time we see him out of the gun. Now this is the 31st game for Zeke Elliott in his career, and look how close the numbers are to what AP had after his first 31 games.
Wow.
I mean, within 100 yards. 100-yard games, very similar. Touchdowns identical.
Well, Zeke even came out and said he thought that Adrian was the best player he's seen growing up at the running back position.
Peterson 10th all-time on the rush list. Could move up to 9 today with a big game. They're 125 yards away from number 9 and overtaking Tony Dorsett, by the way. Pickup of 2. And for more on this story about AP, let's go to Trace.
Well, Jim, Peterson has heard it all. You're done, you're too old. But I spoke with him yesterday. He told me those comments, they just drive him. Every day he's playing with a chip on his shoulder, out there trying to prove something. Gruden said he saw it in the preseason workout when he had them all work out, the young running backs and Adrian Peterson, and Peterson just outworked him. He knew right then and there they needed to sign this guy, Jim.
Yeah, it didn't take long, he told us. He saw him out on the field. Said, we'll take that guy. Yeah, we'll sign him. Here's the dump off pass that goes through the hands of Peterson on that occasion. 2nd and 10. Update time. JB and Phil in New York.
Hook up with 2 quality guys.
Yeah, how about this? Drew Brees throwing his 500th touchdown to Ben Watson. 1-yard toss. Puts New Orleans up 7-3. Only 3 other quarterbacks, Manning, Favre, and Brady, have thrown for 500.
Excellent company, to say the least. Back to Jim Nance.
It seems like, thank you, fellas, every time Brees plays, he's setting some new mark. Of course, the Redskins are familiar with that from that Monday night game down in New Orleans, where Brees set the all-time passing yardage record in the game against Washington a couple of weeks back. Toss, almost errant, but Peterson has it, and pretty much a busted play. Maybe a gain of 2. What do you make out of what he's doing after being signed so late?
Well, everybody, thinks he's done. I mean, no one would have told you, he's going to come back and have resurrect his career. But you know what it reminds me of? Remember John Riggins around here? I think he took off a year in his 30s.
He did.
And then all of a sudden he comes back. And you know what happened? I'm pretty sure he had a great 3-year run there.
He did. I mean, John Riggins, at the age that Peterson is right now, was the MVP of the league at 33.
Exactly right.
24 touchdowns at 34 and led the league in rushing at 35. We'll be right back. Cowboys with one timeout remaining in the first half as the Redskins face here 3rd and 8. Oh, Smith wasn't ready. He's able to fall on it. So it bounces off of him. And the Redskins will punt.
Well, this is where you're thinking the cadence is different, and the center's thinking something else. So he's just going through a cadence talking. Oh, and just the ball comes right up. You're lucky to get those back.
Way returns to punt. Beasley's back deep. Beasley, no fair catch. He's going to try to make something out of it. Nothing there. 4 Redskins all around them. 40-yard punt. Speaking of John Riggins, Super Bowl season for us, so we got a lot of memories as we get headed toward Atlanta a couple months down the road. Remember this one for John Riggins?
Oh, they're dying for these hogs or some big boys in the running game, everything to come back. Joe Gibbs, they want to get some of this back around here, and what a great player he was late in his career. And you just said all these things. I think someone just went and typed them up real quick.
Well, you saw that highlight from the Super Bowl game where he was the MVP at age 33 and had 104 career rush touchdowns after, well, in his total, and 46 after his 34th birthday. As Elliott, who's got nothing going so far, peels off his best run of the game.
Well, you're seeing usually the last couple years, Dallas has controlled the game and wore down Washington. Today, so far, and it's still early, it's actually going the opposite. And AP and his ability, to help them control the clock, just allows you to kind of keep that touchdown ahead. This is a big drive for Dallas right here. Look at the difference.
12 yards for Elliott, 39 for Peterson. As we approach 3 minutes in the first half. Fake it to Elliott and pass on target as Hearns has the catch, his 3rd of the game. And it's good for 20.
It's just an outstanding route by Hearns. Watch this. I'm going deep. Nope. Right back to the sideline. Really just
matches Hearns' longest catch of his brief Cowboy career. He had 8 catches again coming in. And he's already got 3 in the first half today.
Moreau just gets caught looking at the first step. This is the Cowboys' favorite formation. They can run out of this, hand it off just right to the right, and then pass once in a while. They do everything.
Underneath, Elliott. Give him a couple. Update on the Saints and Ravens. JB and Phil take it away.
A 56-yarder. Flacco to John Brown sets this up.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson gives the fake, goes in for a 1-yard touchdown pass. Scoring tough to come by in this game. It's just like yours. Baltimore 10, New Orleans 7. Back to Jim Nance, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson.
All right, how about that? Lamar Jackson comes in and scores the touchdown after the long Flacco pass play to Brown. And we reach 2 minutes before the snap. 2 minutes to go in the first half. 1 touchdown on the board.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Uber. Doors are always opening. And by Chipotle. For real.
Back here, what peaked as a 50-degree day in the Washington area. Coming up the Verizon halftime report. JB, Phil, Boomer, and Coach Cowher. Scores and highlights. Verizon halftime report. Again, Dallas, 1 timeout. 2-minute warning coming out of. Prescott avoids the sack, got it away. And Beasley has the catch. Coming off some performance last week. 9 receptions, over 100 yards, and a couple of touchdowns against the Jags. 3rd and 1.
He's going to hand this ball off to the right.
And that's Elliott. Look at them. Hold on.
But I think...
You think he got it?
He reached that ball out. If you replayed it, I think he barely reached it out to get it.
Just for a second.
Yeah, like a...
Yeah.
No one's going to touch it. Let's see if he... This is how smart. Look, he's looking over at the sideline to see where it's at. Wow.
How about the presence to do that?
It's a smart player. You got to hurry up now. Minute 10, you got one timeout. Need to get this snapped.
One for the big one. Down the field, wide open for the touchdown is Michael Gallup.
What a route by Gallup. I mean, watched Stroman just buy that hitch route and look into the backfield. And this is the one guy who can really take this offense up a notch. He's got that kind of ability. And, you know, he's a rookie. He can improve, and he keeps showing. But the reason this play worked was that offense up front gave plenty of time for the double move.
Boy, he got right past Stroman. And the game is tied 49 yards. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this from Geico.
I'm at the swing joint telling people that Geico's been offering savings for over 75 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around.
Dozen wings.
And did you know that Geico offers motorcycle insurance? Oh, my lips are burning. No, my lips are actually burning.
Geico. Over 75 years of savings and service. See how much you could save at geico.com.
It's too hot. Oh, this is too hot, mate.
He's going to save that football, his first NFL touchdown. And Tony, we talked with Dak this week, and we said, which one player do you feel like is right on the precipice of breaking out? And he said, without hesitation, Michael Gallup. He's starting to put it all together. He had a great week of practice, and he really kind of tipped us off that it could be a big game for Gallup, and he's got his first NFL touchdown.
Boy, I mean, he does have ability. You watch him run, he's the guy that can really take that leap. And, you know, it's really just a matter of trust and throwing it and letting him have opportunities and chances. And, you know, that was outstanding all the way around. And you see it right here at the bottom. Stroman's going to look into the backfield after the initial hitch route. Go get it. No, wrong. And Dak just sees a guy open by 10 yards, and you're thinking, just don't overthrow him. And it was a perfectly thrown ball.
Longest completion Prescott's ever had in his now 5th career game against Washington. So biggest play he's had against the Redskins.
And they needed that. They hadn't had much going, Dallas, in this first half. To go in at half tied here would be big.
Gallup, who thought for a moment last week he had a touchdown against Jacksonville, but did not get the second foot down, and the touchdown was taken away on review. Flags are out.
False start. Got to be on Washington here. Ooh, they're having a little discussion. Maybe something.
Neutral zone infraction.
Ooh.
Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So Lawrence will give up 5 yards for the Cowboys. Verizon halftime report straight ahead. Coach and Boomer. JB, Phil, getting all set to take you through what happened today, including, how about that finish at Chicago? New England, the Bears put up a Hail Mary on the last play of the game. It's caught at the 1, chance to go in, assuming there's a PAT, it's going to go through too, to tie it, and the Patriots kept them out of the end zone.
That was crazy.
1st and 5. And that's complete over to Harris.
You got plenty of time with 3 timeouts. There's 52 seconds. You're going to want to use it after this play no matter what. You don't want to save it because you'll never, it's silly to all of a sudden have a timeout left in the tank. Snap this ball, get up. You can get a field goal out of this if you do things correct. You don't even have to be that aggressive, but here it is.
Doxson tries to climb over the defender, Awuzie.
And you see Doxson gets on top. Awuzie gets a little hand in there, but good job using that right hand to hit it away. It's close.
Smith got pounded into the ground, and even assisted by his own lineman, Morgan Moses, who hit him unintentionally, but it was Lawrence who was in there creating havoc.
Hey, 5-0, 5-0. White.
2nd and 10, 35 seconds to go in the half. Again with all 3 timeouts.
Dallas with great coverage. No one was open on that play. Making Alex get outside the pocket, and it's really a good throwaway, but standing coverage.
Jay Gruden this week had a big talk with the team. Expressed that too to the media about how they need consistency around here. Always hovering around 500, he said, for the last 4 years. We have to handle success equally as well as we handle adversity. Coming off success in a win last week against Carolina, how would they back it up? Cowboys could have the same argument about the consistency thing on their side. As Smith throws it on 3rd down, he's got his man down to the 44. It's Michael Floyd, who's traveled all over this NFL and now has a home with the Redskins and a gain of 20.
That's a good release. Now watch him go on the in cut and get away. Floyd, excellent route. Uzier just a step behind, not wanting to give up a go route, but Alex Smith going into the wind. And that's another part. Cowboys were downwind a lot in this quarter. You know, it's swirling a little down there, but you got to take advantage because it is a little tougher. You saw that ball. They die going the direction the Redskins are going, and that's going to be tough on the field goal here coming up if they get an opportunity.
That's the first 3rd down conversion for the Redskins. And our target line, I'm not sure how much that factors in the gusty winds against, but we'll see. Inside 20 seconds. As Smith goes sideline. What an effort to get the feet down. And it's not going to be counted as a catch. Well, a great effort by Floyd.
Well, it's an outstanding, really, spot and throw. And, oh, that left foot just gets out. Excellent. Yep. And the ball just barely moves.
He got the back foot down, but the front foot had a toe on the line, it appeared.
But that's where the swirling winds going the direction that Washington right now. You really can't see it because the higher up it gets, it's like less and less. But you get down on that field, it's got a little bit to it. And that ball just all of a sudden is half a yard off, a yard high, a yard outside. And that's the difference.
Rolling out now and launching deep in the area of Doxson with 9 seconds. Heath on the coverage.
You're in 4-down territory, so you can throw a quick slant, bang a timeout. If you get enough, you can go for a field goal. Just depends on whether the kicker can get it there. You got a lot of options here. No matter what, you're banging a timeout instantly. You don't have to throw to the sideline, obviously.
Timeout. Dallas takes its last. So after being through this rivalry game so many times, is it pretty much what you thought it was going to be? What we've seen in the first half?
Yeah, it's always physical.
Yeah.
I mean, really the idea that kind of what's happening today is kind of what you expect. It's going to be a little bit low scoring. Both these offenses are kind of doing the same thing mostly this year. Dallas broke out last week, but I don't think you're going to see them score 40, consistently every week. But they are finding out a little bit more about who they are. They're finding this guy in this position, this guy over here. We're going to move Beasley and put him a little bit more in Witten's spot where he used to be all those years instead of just keeping him in the slot. Gives them a two-way go. And just both these offenses are finding themselves in what they're good at.
Third down with 9 seconds. Smith goes deep again and just out of reach. Just out of reach for Doxson. And like I said, with 4 seconds, you're going to go ahead and keep Alex Smith and company out there. That was a yard too long.
Yeah, and that's nothing more than the fact that he's going into a direction that's difficult to throw, because he had 2 options, 2 or 3 throws on that drive that are just a foot or 2 here, and that's, you're getting a big play that gets you a field goal at least.
So, one more snap before the half. Might as well try to do something heroic.
Oh, yeah. And throw this to the end zone. Oh, he got him off sides.
Now what do you do? Let's say you're going to put the football at the 39.
That
be a field goal of about 57.
Whistle zone infraction. Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Yeah, but still with the winds that are here.
It's still too far into this wind. This is what, I mean, if they tried this, you could, but it would completely ruin our point about being into the wind.
You're not seeing
those things are at the top of the goalpost. I'm telling you, down on the field as you get down there, the wind just picked up, and you'll watch that same field goal post in 2 minutes, and all of a sudden it'll be blistering.
So from the 39, get a running start into the heave. Smith to the end zone. Players are there, and it's incomplete. Could have been caught. My goodness. Looked like maybe Brian Quick had a play on it. Michael Floyd was in the area. But we got a 7-7 halftime score. Oh, the two Redskins, they just gotten away from one another. Both had a chance to make the play.
Oh, that hit him in the stomach, I think.
Into the first half, Washington and Dallas tied at 7. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station.
Want more stats? Hey Siri, who leads the league in rushing yards?
All right, we're about to get the second half started. Dallas will be kicking it away. In that first half, the Redskins held Elliott to just 13 yards rushing on 10 carries. This is the second lowest total in a first half of his career.
I don't know when the other one is. Probably Denver, if I'm guessing.
Yeah, that was early in the season. That was a rough one.
But that's kind of why Washington's #1 goal coming in this game was contain Elliott. They're not going to beat you consistently down the field over and over again. Now, Dallas did to end the half, and that was huge. But that's exactly how Washington wants this game to go. The difference is Dallas' defense is also really good, and they're playing good. This game's going to be close, and Dallas used to pull away the last few years just because the physicalness in the run game. But we'll see about the adjustments, because Washington struggled to score points in the second half.
Oh, it's been such a source of discussion around here how they have floundered in the second half. Tracy, what did you hear at halftime?
Well, Jim, you mentioned the 13 yards rushing by Zeke Elliott, and I spoke with Jason Garrett going into halftime, and he says obviously establishing the run is their #1 priority. They need to find ways to run different ways, but they also need to still continue to throw the ball downfield to keep Washington honest. As for Jay Gruden, he told me the biggest point of emphasis, continually offensively throw the ball downfield, take more shots, and add some play action in as well, Jim.
Well, here we go with the Redskins, and again, there are issues in the second half. Their offense has not scored a third-quarter touchdown in the last 10 games. Peterson with a wiggle, gets around the Cowboy defender, and then spins for 9. Beautiful piece of running.
Did you say 10 games?
10 games without a third-quarter touchdown by this Washington offense going back to last season. And here's the running back comparison in the first half. Again, nothing for Zeke. He had 2 carries that went for 4 yards apiece, and all the rest were pretty much just stopped at the line of scrimmage or knocked back a yard or 2. 24 points total in the second half this year for the Redskins, fewest in the league.
One of the problems,
as they give it to Peterson, and he's got a gain of about 5 1/1.
One of the problems in the third quarter a lot of the time is that teams don't go back to things that they did well. You see Peterson, was in his 12th NFL season. He's just running like he's a young kid. And honestly, this shows you that when you're a talent, you can come back at any time if you have a right system and coaches are willing to put you in the right scheme. And he's running hard, and you're seeing him look young and fresh.
You saw that 2,000-yard season he had. That was in 2012. As he give it to him for the third straight play, and he's got an opening. Look at Peterson go as he's shoved out of bounds, but he's inside the Dallas 40.
Well, this is exactly what I was saying before, was you got to come back to plays you ran in the first half. You don't need all brand new plays to start off. The stuff that worked is really good, and you see the pull the guards. This has been set up. They've seen what Dallas has been in. They've run this play, and it's a great job. By the new Hogs, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
Of the Redskins here, and that's, if you can just start handing it off 3-4 times and just start scoring points, you're going to win a lot of football games.
Or the new over-the-hill gang, you know?
Yeah.
Like back in the 70s under George Chapman, those glorious days around here. And here's the give. P. Ryan gets his first carry, and it's good for 7. But, you know, back to Peterson. He had a 2,000-yard season in 2012, and that was after blowing out his ACL in 2011 in a game in December of 2011 as a member of the Vikings right here at FedEx Field. I mean, you talk about turning around quickly from an ACL, late season injury. The next year he goes for 2,000. So he's been, you know, he's had doubters at a lot of places along the way.
But exactly what you said, he is rare. He's that guy who can do rare things. And as soon as he walked in, you had the young guys with him, and you had him here for a tryout, and you looked out there and you're like, take away the age, this guy dominates these other guys.
No one better than Peterson. That's what they said. But look at P. Ryan get caught in the backfield by Lawrence, and that's a loss of 5. So now we'll face third and about 7 or 8.
That's been the biggest issue over the years for Washington's offense, is the movement. You see right there, he spikes down 2 gaps.
The running back will be Capri Bibbs, who scored the Redskins touchdown, which was a long time ago on the opening drive of the game. A catch and run for a score. Bibbs taking it from 23 yards out. 3rd and 8. Pressure on the edges. Pass. He's there. It's Reed. And he's down to about the 10. Jordan Reed for 27 yards.
Well, this is an outstanding move. Look at, I'm going in. Nope, I'm going out. And Goodwin gets turned around. And we can't say it enough. You rush 5 guys like Dallas did. That means everyone's by themselves. And Reed needs to get the ball. For Dallas, Beasley should get the ball when you have pressure. 5 guys. For Washington, it's Reed, and Alex stands in there. Perfect throw.
That was the longest play of the game for Washington. Again, 27. Peterson comes back into the lineup on 1st and goal at the 9. Take the handoff. Bootleg to the end zone. Oh, he was open. He had him wide open. Jeremy Sprinkle had at least a step on his defender.
Well, Anthony Brown gets caught looking into the backfield. Poor job by his eyes, and Alex misses this one, and he's just going to be disgusted by it because Sprinkle was wide open. All you have to do is sprinkle a little throw in there. That's just too, I mean, that's a killer for the quarterback. I mean, you really do just want to, like, loft it and just be like, okay, just be within 2 yards and it'll be fine anywhere. Back shoulder, front shoulder, low, high.
Well, gotta let go of it now. 2nd and goal. From the gun, dumps it over to Peterson. Gets around one defender, stays on balance, and gets to the 1. I mean, he's making somebody miss every time he handles the football.
You're not kidding. You throw to the flat, I'm going to go there, and then he gets Heath. And the extra effort, boy, he's provided. They didn't realize, you know, they drafted a running back for a reason because they thought they needed somebody, you know, to be there in the 1st round. And then all of a sudden, you know, Geis gets hurt and Peterson comes in. You don't know what to expect.
Yep, they drafted the kid Geis, and of course, he got injured for the season, and that's when they had to go out and get Peterson, who just had his first catch of this game. 3rd and goal, 1 yard away. They'll go with Peterson, and he laterals it back to Smith as he's falling back. Why not? And he's trying to explain himself there.
Well, as you know at home, this was not a designed quarterback pitchback.
I think he was already down.
He was down on the ground. You're going to have a knee down almost for sure. Let's see.
I mean, just everything was off there. They were late on the play clock. Davis got in the way, and now 4th and goal. They'll have to go field goal, 21 yards with Dustin Hopkins.
And it feels like a letdown if you're Washington because you had the wide open touchdown in the end zone in the back on the 1st down.
Kick is good. He's now made 21 straight inside the 40. Cowboys are not allowed a touchdown now in the last 6 opponent's trips into the red zone.
Is copyrighted by NFL Productions for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of NFL Productions is prohibited.
Coming off a 21-yard field goal for the Redskins to go up 10-7. NFC East. It's good to drop back into the NFC East again. The Eagles, by the way, came up short today against Carolina and dropped back now to 3-4 on the season. I mean, the way it's going in this division, Washington's already had a bye week, came in at 3-2. Dallas at 3-3. It's going to be another one of those beat 'em up kind of years where a 9-7 division champion could very possibly be the story. That hits the crossbar and a touchback. College football Saturday, best game from the best conference. Florida battles Georgia in Jacksonville. And in prime time from San Diego, 4th-ranked Notre Dame takes on Navy for the 92nd consecutive time. The college football pregame has you covered beginning at 2:30 Eastern on CBS. So that defense again, they have the last 6 times the opponent's been in the red zone, they have not allowed them into the end zone. That was a big stop. Of course, the Redskins had it on that 1st and goal from the 9, but the pass wide of the mark. And here's Elliott for 6.
And that's the best run of the game.
That's his longest by 2.
Speaking of Elliott there, they bottle up. Look at these guys inside. Ioannidis throwing his guy. Payne, Allen. Look at their long arm. They're just holding you up and waiting as if they can just see what you're going to do and then throw you. And boy, they're big up front, and they're showing you today that it's tough to run on this football team.
2nd and 4 to the short side of the field on the toss. And that was Preston Smith who got a hand on him first. And right in front of Coach Garrett, who ends up with the football. No gain.
What I'm most impressed with, as well as obviously slowing the run game, they're not completely selling out on the backside. Dallas has really hurt Washington with drive start, bootleg type stuff that gets them 15 to 25 yards, coming out of their own end zone, and they just change field position. And today, I keep watching that backside to be open, and it's not. Washington's trusting their guy to do their job out in front of them.
3rd and 4. See what Greg Minuski, the D coordinator, dials up for his defense. Get close to him, and that certainly was a difference maker. The pressure from Preston Smith.
Smith just an outstanding job against Tyron Smith on the left side of the screen. Gets his arm, and really there's nothing open. It wasn't going to be a play that was going to have a chance for anybody. Dak just feels it and knows he's got to get rid of it. And there's the D coordinator.
Greg Minuski. His defense, you saw it. Big numbers against the rush on the season and against the pass. 5th overall. Top 10 in both categories. Stroman, with really no Cowboy coverage guy within 5 or 6 yards of him, takes the fair catch. 42-yard punt. Redskins have the football in the lead by 3.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Wendy's new Sauce'em Bacon Classic Cheeseburger. USAA, official NFL salute to service partner. And by Walmart. Discover more ways to shop at Walmart today.
The National Museum of African American History and Culture right here in Washington, D.C. Something the Cowboys have in their plans, which Tracy's going to explain to us here in just a moment. But first, let's get this drive started for the Redskins, who have scored all 10 points on first drives of either half. Opening drive touchdown, and then the 3rd quarter beginning with a field goal drive that ended at the 1. Well, actually, they had a 3rd and goal from the 1 before field goal from short distance. Where do you go now? Peterson gives back a lot of yardage as we do go down to Tracy.
actually going to, with a bye week next week, the Cowboys are actually going to stay here in Washington. And as you just saw, the National Museum of African American History and Culture, they're going to take a trip there. And the idea came up from a conversation with DeMarcus Lawrence, and then they decided to vote on it as a team. They are all looking forward to it. Garrett said it's a bonding and educational experience. What Zeke said is he's looking forward to it, but first they need to come away with a win.
They're down 10-7. Thank you, Tracy. As Smith guns it across the middle, and he has Doxson for a first down.
Wow, tight throw, and Alex told us this game is going to be contested throws. I got to let it rip. Good pass rush, but these are going to be tight throws on our receivers. I got to trust them, and he's done that a couple times today. He's missed a couple, but all you need is one or two, and you saw the Cowboys with that one big one. Got them back in the game.
Cowboys were going in this direction, which is favorable with the wind when they threw that touchdown handoff to Peterson. And are you seeing a noticeable difference to throw the football going right to left with the wind today?
Yeah, well, you could see a little bit when Tracy was down there talking. By the way, that was great job, Tracy. Just her hair. It was windy. And that's not just us adding something down there like a fan for just her ability to look good.
Seriously? Are you commenting on my hair? Do you know what that does to a woman? Come on, Tony. You should know better.
I'm saying it looked great. We didn't give you anything, process to make you look. It's windy. And so, yes, it does matter down there. You can feel it. And I think it's going to matter as this game plays its way out.
Here is the 2nd and 8.
And your hair's great, Tracy.
Smith is in trouble. And look at this collision. He runs into David Irving. And a loss of 3.
I mean, an outstanding. It's pressure. Dallas and Jalen Smith, one of the best interior pass rushers at middle linebacker position, and David Irvin being back. These two teams are so similar. When they get pressure against them, they're not quite as good in the pass game. It's a struggle because the quarterbacks just want to wait a 1/10 of a second. And if you give them time, they can really beat you. So teams are starting to come after the Redskins and the Cowboys.
That was the Cowboys' first sack today. Sets up 3rd and 11. Almost got a second straight sack, and underneath, and going to be a couple yards short. Bibbs takes it out of bounds. 4th and 2. Picked up 9. Smith straddles the sideline, looking up at the board, watching the replay of it, and he took a few steps like he wanted to go out there and try to draw him off sides at the very least, or go for it. It's going to be actually 4th and a long one. Way. Good hang time. And Beasley secures it at the 10. 41-yard boot. 4 minutes to go in the 3rd. Field goal game, Washington. Cowboys pinned at their own 11. Not much to show so far in the second half offensively.
Yeah, this is the time, though, that they like to, do different things coming out. You want to play action. They love bootlegs, play action stuff coming out, trying to get a chunk right away. We'll see if they stick with that recipe.
Out of the gun. Look at Prescott. Immediately swarmed under by Ryan Kerrigan. Well, a loss of 6.
Well, it's 5-man rush, Jim. That means the ball's got to come out. And the guys who can run and move, the quarterbacks in the league, if you 5-man rush them, there's not a lot of running lanes. So the ball's got to come out. And right there you see just a big loss down in your hole. And, now you can feel that. Now you got to throw this ball, or you got to have a screen or something trying to get a chunk back. Here we go, empty.
He sends Elliott wide to the left. 2nd and 16. Snap from the 5. From the end zone. Good for only about 4 to Swaim. And it'll still be 3rd and about 12.
And that was outstanding communication. When the motion happens, Washington gets back into cover 2. They actually dropped 8 guys and sent 3. And when that happens, you got to try and buy a little time. But 3rd and 11. Got to protect the football here. This play's starting to rock now.
Yes, it is. I think the most intensity we've seen in the stadium today. Need to get to the 21 for the first. With time. Pass incomplete. Trying to connect with Hearns, but Stroman was right there with him. 3 and out for Dallas.
It's a good route. Dak has time, does a good job, slides up, and that ball just a high inside, but he's got to catch that.
Very catchable.
I think that's tough. The problem is the ball's, going into that wind, it's just wobbling a little, so it's tough, to kind of get your hands right there and grab it. But it was a good route and a good throw.
Here's Jones. Good punt. Stroman tripped up. Good piece of coverage down the field. That was Goodwin who tackled him after the 45-yard punt, but the Redskins have great field position.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Corona Extra. Find your beach. And by McDonald's new Trick Treat Win Game. No purchase necessary.
Alex Smith trotting into the huddle. He's 11 out of 20 today, 147 yards and a touchdown.
Doesn't it get the feeling like any touchdown drive for either team here just is going to be, the end of the game almost?
And a 10-point lead in a game like this would be massive as Peterson starts going after it, but a flag is thrown from the secondary.
This is probably going to come back.
Chris Richard saying, bring that back. It's a 22-yard run.
Is that what he said?
I think so.
Holding. Offense, number 87. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Yeah, on Sprinkle. You talk about consistency. Well, yeah, I mean, maybe this is not exactly the consistency they're looking for. Look at this amazing stretch here. Through 33 games, through 37 games. I mean, just Groundhog Day.
Is that a glitch? You just kept showing the same thing over and over again.
It just looked good, but it is. Over the last 57 games, 28, 28, and 1.
Wow. They're trying to change that 3-2. This would be a great start.
Winner of this game will lead the division at the end of the day. And that's down to the 46 with Doxson. Gains 15.
This is the second time they've ran this. It's a deeper slant. It's really not that wide open. It's just a big body receiver who's helped out, and Alex throwing it perfectly on that route.
2nd and 5. Jason Garrett's team at 3-3. They know all about this, trying to get some consistency going for the positive. Little toss. What a run, too. That was Bibbs for the first down to the 32. He rushes for 13, Tony.
This is outstanding play call. So they don't even block the DN because it's an option. Almost like Tommy Frazier way back in the day. And that defender doesn't see this in the NFL. So Lawrence is like, I'm just going to go hit the quarterback. And you just option so you win in the run game by numbers. Now all of a sudden everyone's blocked. That's the second time they've ran that today. And you know what? You want to know how you score in the third quarter? Come back to all your really good stuff that gives the other team trouble. Don't come up with new things.
Vander Esch made the tackle and was injured. Good for you for bringing up Tommy Frazier from the past, the old Nebraska quarterback, who I actually had in a national championship game in the Fiesta Bowl against Florida years ago. And he led 28-0 after the first quarter. Remember the one run? Frazier kept it and broke about 9 tackles for a touchdown.
Couldn't tell there what happened to him. Yeah, you're exactly right.
That's what you were talking about.
Was that like 60-7?
It was 63-21, I want to say, final, but
14.
Yeah. Okay.
Our young
Tom Brewer over here says 63-14.
We'll see if he's right.
120 yards of offense in the quarter for the Redskins, 4 yards of offense for Dallas. 30 seconds to go in the quarter. And Peterson slides sideways down to about the 29 for another 4.
Well, they're not going to score that touchdown.
That's going to go another week, huh?
But if you did this every third quarter,
you'd be happy, wouldn't you?
Comfortable, yeah.
Particularly if your defense held them to 40 yards. And yeah, they put up 124 total. Did Washington in the quarter.
It's a physical football game. It's going to come down to a play or two.
By the way, that score
Big
was 62-24.
Oh.
Going to the fourth. 3-point game. Starting the fourth. The quarterbacks, similar numbers. Dallas offense stalled and stopped in the third. And we have the Redskins on the move as we head to the final 15 minutes. On 2nd and 6, Peterson into the secondary. Almost able to untangle from the last tackle by Woods, but it's 1st and goal to go.
Boy, that's not his only good run. You see the shotgun stuff? Look at how good this has been throughout the day. Adrian Peterson used to love only under center running the ball. He's morphed, and it's showing. You see one play run to the right? Let's come back with the same play and run it to the left in the second half. This is why they're doing good today. And here's the run we just saw right now. Getting wide and showing off the ability for a 33-year-old man looking like 23.
Yeah, and he's 4 yards away from 100. 1st and goal. Trying to cut back, and he'll give 1 yard back on that run.
Boy, how physical. You know, Dallas is physical on both sides, you know, up front on defense and obviously their offensive line. And this is the first time in a while I've seen them really just have a physical matchup where you're not like, okay, they're just slowly moving the line of scrimmage. It's Washington is moving this line of scrimmage consistently in this football game. And it's showing. Dallas need to make a play.
Nod to Bill Callahan, the offensive line coach, former head coach in this league.
Yeah, he's outstanding.
2nd and goal from the 11. Here's Smith looking for options. Getting out of the jam, breaking a tackle, and he dives near the 5. Crawford able to trip him up.
You're going to see the route concept. Fantastic job by Dallas passing. Look at that communication. You take him, I got him. I mean, Dallas has some very smart players in this defensive side of the ball, and they know the system cold, and they're playing the best they have in years, week to week.
Again, the Cowboys in the red zone have been so tough of late. They've already stopped the Redskins from finding the end zone on another goal-to-go situation in this second half. Now it's 3rd and goal from the 7 and over the head of everybody.
Another pressure on 3rd down. Making the ball come out of the hands, making the quarterback throw it accurately. And you can feel the Sean Lee off the edge. Jalen Smith inside. Alex has no choice. Ball's got to come out.
Takes the incompletion.
Dallas holds them.
Yes, again.
13-7. You just need that big play in the first half. You get another big play here at some point. All of a sudden, lots forgiven.
All these kicks in a row in the fourth quarter successful for Hopkins since a game against Dallas in 2015. When he last missed one in the fourth. That was good from 25. And right you are. It's 13-7. 12 and a half to go. These two coaches born about a year apart. Jay 51, Jason 52, both quarterbacks in their past. Garrett, of course, a long time backup quarterback in Dallas with 9 career starts, 3 Super Bowl rings. Gruden was just a demon in the Arena League, won a number of titles in his day as a quarterback. But here they are with the winner to lead the division at the end of the day. Some of the early headlines around the league. Well, first off, Houston wins at Jacksonville. There's 4 straight wins, and the Texans take the AFC South lead. Bortles was benched in that game for Cody Kessler in the second half. Panthers stunned the Eagles, who suffer a 4th loss on the year. The touchdown pass to Olsen, who's back in business, wins it for Carolina. And the Patriots outscore the Bears 38-31. Cowboys, meanwhile, looking for their first down of the second half. And it's Elliott out to about the 31. Give him 6. Lamar Miller had a 100-yard game. Cam Newton put up big numbers, over 300 yards total. Brady with 3 touchdown passes. And Adam Thielen continues to do what he does every week. 100-yard game, 9 catches and a touchdown. Minnesota beats the Jets. 2nd and 4. Good time. That pass on target for Hearns, who breaks the tackle. And the Cowboys get way down the field. He broke away from Josh Norman.
Josh Norman, you're going to see he's in his zone. So he's playing outside leverage there, and he just misses the tackle. He's got to come up and stick him. And look at this protection. I mean, it's scan left, scan right, and then come back. And really, it's a perfect spot, Dak, in that throw. This game, we called it the first half. Dak's going to have to make some big throws, some tight throws under some duress. And if he does, they'll win this football game. If not, this defense is not going to give you anything super easy.
And it's the first down of the second half. Play went for 33. And that is Lewis who runs it. We've got an update. Let's go back to JB and Phil.
Drew was big in a big way.
He was. 5-yard touchdown pass to Michael Thomas to put the Saints up 21-17 down in Baltimore, and it was helped by a 4th down QB sneak by Drew Brees.
Back to Jim Nance.
Okay, up the road in Baltimore. Still 5 minutes to go in that one. 2nd and 3. And over the head of Elliott.
Well, Zach Brown with a blitz up the middle. And Dak, these teams are going to come after each other. You see right up the middle, Dak wisely throws that ball and gets it out of his hands. And really, that's not a bad throw. He's got to get rid of it. You got to be kind of safe. You can't diagnose everything. Big 3rd down here.
Need to get to the 26 for a first.
See if they can get the protection lined up. You got people going to be open and empty.
Out of the gun. Pocket collapsing, and he got tripped up. No one touched him. Now they fall on his back. That was Anderson who finished him off. It'll be 4th and 3, and they're bringing out Marr for the field goal.
And Anderson gets him, but Dak just had an opportunity, and he's just like Alex earlier. They both just had an opportunity on a couple big possessions, and Gallup with a fantastic route. Might have been Hearns at the bottom on a post that I think Dak would have found if he was able to keep his feet for a second.
47 yards for Brett Maher, who made 4 last week. He's got an impressive leg. And look at that kick. Dead center. Cowboys on the board again with a field goal. First points of the second half. 3-point game inside 10.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by KFC's Crispy Kernel Sandwich. It's finger-licking good. AT&T. More for your thing. That's our thing. And by the Honda family of SUVs.
All right, Cowboys with the field goal. It's Marr from 47 yards, and there is Lewis. You saw him on first down get 7 yards that got him a little closer to field goal range. His first rush attempt in the NFL or in college. He was a Michigan Wolverine.
Well, it was a jet sweep, and you know Tavon Austin's out. So they got to find a guy to come in and take that spot. And of course, why wouldn't you go with your defensive back?
Of course.
That's all the obvious reason.
Harris says, no way I'm entertaining that. Next week, our Super Bowl season continues with regional action, including the likes of Cleveland and Pittsburgh. The Jets at Chicago. We'll be there for that one. Denver and Kansas City. Baltimore, Carolina. Some will get your game late. Indianapolis and Oakland. The day kicks off NFL Today at noon Eastern. Right here, again, on the home of Super Bowl 53. Screen, and that dangerously close to Crawford with Reed the intended target. Let's get an injury update from you, Tracy.
Jim, we saw Dallas linebacker Leighton Vander Esch get hurt on that last drive. It was a quad contusion, but he's on the sideline with his helmet, and I was told he should be okay. Also, cornerback CJ Goodwin had x-rays on his forearm. He is out for the game, Jim.
Okay, Goodwin is out. You may see Vander Esch. He's ready to go. He's got the helmet on.
You're going to see a lot of pressure versus both these quarterbacks as this game keeps moving on.
Here's Peterson. He was trying to get outside, but unable to get away from Antoine Woods. And now this Dallas defense, which came into the week 4th in total defense, number 2 scoring defense in the league. He's given up 1 touchdown today, and that was on the game's opening possession for the Redskins.
Well, I'll be surprised if they don't send someone extra, one of these inside backers, someone from somewhere extra. Oh, now they're going to go man-to-man and just play it unless Jalen Smith is coming. Yep.
Dallas bringing it. They're picked up. Smith's throw. It's caught. As Bibbs bouncing off of one defender and secures the first. Gain of 11.
So they're going to play man-to-man, but they're blitzing Smith. Sean Lee has a tough spot. This is really tough on Sean because he's covering the back, and the back goes all the way across the field. And that's not really, you could say it's Sean's fault, but you'll run 500 plays, and that back blocks Jalen Smith every time, and then that time he doesn't.
Vander Esch is back onto the field. New set of downs for Washington. In traffic, Peterson, give him a couple.
That was a great design by the Washington coaching staff to almost call that versus that exact pressure. I mean, that literally is a call that says, this is what's coming, we're going to throw it here, and this is going to work. Give Gruden and the staff credit.
Of course, Jay Gruden's so involved in everything that's happening with the Redskins, but one of the head coaches you see in the league who likes to do all things on offense.
Oh yeah, he's in every meeting, needs to come up with it.
2nd and 8 near the first down marker, but backing up a bit after the catch is Harris. So 3rd and a long 2 coming up.
Harris did that and he came back to the huddle. I'd be like, I mean, you know the first down's the other way, right?
Yes, right.
You don't back up a yard.
You may have been able to get it. So you talked about the big 3rd down when it was 3rd and 8. They picked it up with Bibbs' 4th catch of the game. Here's another big one, 3rd and 2. I'd like to welcome a lot of the audience is just being switched over from the Rams and 49ers. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson, 3rd down pitch. Oh, and what a play by the Dallas defense. Sean Lee, along with Lawrence, able to make the stop and take Washington's offense off the field.
Oh, this is where Sean Lee is just rare. No one gets this. Sean Lee's on the other side. He switches with Jalen, and he knows they've ran this option play. So he just sprints out and beats the tackle and almost single-handedly makes that play. That's not his gap. He's not supposed to be there. Wow.
Way with the punt. fifth punt of the day. And it's a good one. So 5 punts by Way today, and all 5 inside the 20. So a little unsung hero effort for the punter for the Redskins. Quarterbacks in this game, Prescott 70%, 56% for Alex Smith.
It's an efficient game on both sides. You leave the game right now and saying both quarterbacks did their job. They're in a position, 1 or 2 plays each one's going to want back. But it's going to come down to this 6 minutes. It's right now. And this is why you play this position. It's the NFC East. First place is on the line. This game could matter at the end of the year, and it normally does, to come back and haunt you one way or another. Big drive for the Cowboys and a big stop for the Redskins if they can.
From the 14. And Elliott able to get past the line, which has been seldom the case today. And with that run, he gets to 31 yards on 14 attempts. He's had little room to operate. Meanwhile, Peterson's at 98 yards, over 4 yards a clip.
Three tight ends in the game. This is the bootleg game or just a straight handoff to the right. It's one or the other 90% of the time for these teams. There it is.
2nd and 4. Stepping up. Over the top goes. And a little contact, but no flag, as the coverage was provided by Everett.
He knew what was coming. So what I said is they're trying to take these shots in bootleg. Everett read it right away and runs underneath Rico, gathers.
Got a little tangled up.
Yeah, but that's when Dallas puts that on the field. We're going to hand it right here, or this is some sort of play action bootleg. It's not a drop back ever.
That last pass intended for Rico Gathers. It's 3rd and 4. Beasley, who was such a force last week on 3rd down, has 3 catches today for only 18.
Well, he's going to have a chance to get open on this one.
Prescott's looking for him, and he's got it. Finally, Beasley on 3rd down is able to find the first down marker and a whole lot more. Prescott found him.
Yeah, it's just a poor job it's a great throw by Dak. And a good route by Beasley.
Hey, there's a flag down.
Oh, there is.
There's a flag down.
Oh, that's a killer. It's a hold.
It was a hold call against Connor Williams.
Against Jonathan Allen, who's coming up the field. And that was the matchup we thought could be huge. And it somehow influences the game in a big moment. Oh, that's a killer for Dallas.
Approaching 5 minutes. Now it's back at the 10. And it's 3rd and 14. From the goal line, watch out! Ball is out! Picked up for the touchdown! Preston Smith recovers it. Kerrigan stripped it.
Washington applies the pressure up front. Kerrigan with a monster strip. And Dak trying to buy the time, trying to get that first down and hang in that pocket. But watch Kerrigan come right around this edge late. And right there, it's like he's going to pull the trigger, and I think he sees him coming. And Kerrigan's left hand somehow wraps under there and gets it. Watch his left hand on the other side. This is a brilliant play by him. And Jay is pumped up.
Well, his defense has played a really strong game throughout, except for the one long pass to Gallup. And fittingly, they come up with a score here to finally open up this game a little bit. High snap. Good job getting it down. And the extra point is good. That was way on the hold, and Hopkins knocked it through. Preston Smith. Not quite a Lambeau leap here, but Washington doubles up the score. Boy, you look back now, Tony, the holding call that took away the first down to Beasley, the very next play, the Kerrigan strip, and the recovery by Preston Smith. The holding call just huge.
Oh, that's exactly why. I mean, people, when you look at games, sometimes it's just a play or two. You get opportunities. But Connor Williams, I mean, going one-on-one with Allen, and I mean, it's a correct call. It's just, that's a tough matchup there. And in those situations, you know, you never want somebody who's got a tough matchup to be the reason you're losing. You got to help them. You got to do something. There's got to be a plan in a big spot. And really, Dak threw a great ball there. And when you turn around and get a penalty, backed up, bad things happen.
And this will be returned. Deontay Thompson down at the 26. The last time CBS broadcast Dallas at Washington, just look at this, deja vu.
This is the last time CBS?
Yesterday they were saying
Here.
we got to pull out all the stops. We got to let it all go. So far they haven't done that.
Yeah, I think the opposite of that. I think both teams are very conservative.
Aikman's going to throw out of the end zone. And batted back into the end zone on the ground. A scramble. Touchdown Redskins.
Right at the same end of the field, if you will.
Wow.
How about that?
That was eerily similar.
Dallas now down 10. Over to Swain. And he tumbles after, and he's injured on the play.
Oh.
Picked up 17. He doesn't want to come out, but he's not going to have any chance of staying on this next play.
Well, it's a busted coverage again by Washington. It happened a lot in the Saints game. It's happened, you know, multiple times. Carolina, I mean, just bad communication, but ooh, that doesn't look good. He's a tough kid, and he's got that looked worse even.
Yeah, that was much uglier.
He's been really improving. I mean, he's gotten better and better each week in this football season, and he's played a lot of snaps. He's playing. You know, Witten never came off the field, but that's rare. And Swain was trying to, you know, go that route a little bit.
What's given the chance with Jason Witten's retirement, Swain, you've seen just in this season alone, his confidence growing and his involvement also getting a whole lot heavier week by week.
Well, the Beasley third down pass, I think they got caught a little bit, but Swain was double covered. Beasley was one-on-one, and that's obviously not the plan, but it just happens sometimes based on formational situations and such.
There you see on the season now 19 catches.
Well,
they carry 4 tight ends. They're all up today. Blake Jarwin, Rico Gathers, and Dalton Schultz, their rookie out of Stanford, who caught a pass. There he is in the first half, his first NFL reception.
Schultz is in his stance, ready to go, and we're not even close to snapping this ball yet. He was ready 10 seconds ago, standing there when the old linemen were talking to each other. Okay, empty formation, 1st and 10. Do you pressure off the edge at the bottom right here? I would.
Here they come. They got him. Nope. Look at that escape. Somehow able to at least get it in completion. Great job by Prescott. Able to avoid the sack by Harvey Clemens.
Well, this is where the quarterback before the snap can get it protected if he can, you know, see the mannerism, see what's going on, the alignment of everybody. And that's where Dak, just being young, you just got to continue to see it on tape and adjust. But great job by him getting out of the pocket to get rid of the ball and not take the sack.
4:13 to play. 2nd and 10. Pick up the blitz. Prescott, flag is down. Again, a flag. Looks like a hole again.
That's going to come back.
Holding. Offense. Number 71. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
This time on Collins.
I'm shocked at the pressure both these teams are sending after each of these quarterbacks over and over and over again. Another linebacker blitz, but the right side you see just hanging onto his head. You can see it up top, backside. Look at around the neck.
Oh, yeah. That's the 3rd offensive holding call on the Cowboys.
So now Dak has told the O-line, you're coming over here to block this time, but they're not pressuring this time.
2nd and 20. Rush 4. And in and out of the hands of Schultz. Foster on the coverage.
As a quarterback right here, you're not having to get the first down 100%. Schultz now having to run the Y option route by Witten, and that ball, couldn't tell if it was tipped. Looked like it was in a pretty good spot, but they're going to give up 8 to 10 yards. Now you need 10 to 12, maybe 14 yards here. 4 yards, you got to punt it. But if you can get more, you can get it into 4th and 6 to 8, I'd go for it.
Underneath, Elliott. He got about 7 out of it. 4th and 13.
Yep, he's going to go for this. This is, I mean, I like it. If I'm the quarterback out there, I'm saying we're going for it no matter what. It's 10 points. It's not 7. But 4th and 18, 16, it's like, 13's still long, but if I'm Washington, I'm coming after. This ball's coming out right away. They put him up here, but that usually tells me he's coming. Change it over.
They all are coming. No, one drops back. Prescott. First option wasn't there. And he's able to find Schultz a flag in the secondary. Actually, that was Jarwin with the catch. Picked up 16. Blake Jarwin, just his 2nd catch of the season.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 24. That penalty is declined. Result of play, first down.
So the Cowboys gamble on 4th and 13.
Keeps the game alive. And you'll see just a stunt up front. Dak buying time. And the penalty was a hold down the field. But that's really great job by Dak, not just throwing it randomly. Like, you got to buy time and make a play.
At the 44.
Oh!
Was it a catch? He recovered it anyway. Call it a catch. That was Norman who knocked that out of the hands of Hearns. Give him 8.
That punched right back into his lap.
How many times do you see that?
Oh, look at that. That's probably a catch and fumble right
Yep. Cowboys want the play to stand, but so they were going to try to hurry up, but the challenge flag comes out.
Oh, he's challenging. Yeah, it's 2:41 to go. Timeouts aren't as big. That's perfect. I would do it. If nothing else, give your defense a breather. I mean, there's 5 reasons why I like this.
Washington is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch.
You're thinking like, whoa, they didn't get it back, right? It's not about that. It's 8 yards. Let's give your team a breather. Let's see what they're doing. Let's talk about it.
Right, try to change the momentum a little bit as Dallas is starting now to percolate.
Oh, percolate. I like that.
What do you think?
That's close.
Let's bring in Gene Steratore back at our broadcast center in New York. Catch, Gene, or not?
I believe catch, leaning to the philosophy of that they want more catches this year. This is 2 feet possession, and I think enough time, that time element to make that a football move, makes that a catch, fumble recovered by the receiver.
Are you telling me last year that would not have been a catch?
I'm telling you, last year I would like to have been on a different position than I am right now, Jim, and rule on it down on the field as opposed to in the studio.
Okay, pal. And Gugino, and I see what he's saying, though. It was a football move, and a little more leniency this year. You've noticed it?
Absolutely. That's been, just like Gene said, I feel like we've seen multiple times that's a catch fumble, and I'm always like, what? Because the last 7 years or whatever has been the opposite.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. He caught the ball, took a step, and fumbled the ball. Recovered his own fumble. Washington will be charged a timeout.
But you got to rest your defense. Your D linemen got to take a break. They can pass rush. I like it. Well done by Jay Gruden there. It doesn't hurt you that much.
And the Cowboys get set quickly.
You're kind of in a tough spot here because you don't want to give up a quick touchdown. You're up 10s, but you've been having success pressuring. Got to make them just drive the field for a little bit.
Scramble. Scramble with an alley to the 20.
Get him up. This is where I'd take a shot right now to the end zone. If you can score and save that 2-minute warning as well, and get a touchdown or something up fast, throw a go route down the sideline, all of a sudden it's 2:08 on the clock, you're good. If not, you're still okay driving.
2:15 and a clock running. Will they take that shot right here? Prescott steps up. He was looking that way. He's going to run again. And he picks up another 11.
Well, you're going to come to the 2-minute, and Dak, well done scrambling, but he had a tight end wide over in the middle. We'll check it out when we come back.
2-minute warning. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light, enjoyed by giant blue fictional knights everywhere. And by Red Dead Redemption 2, out October 26 for PS4, rated mature.
Cowboys in position, but watch Dak as he moves up. The tight end and the seam route are both there. Currick walk in for Beasley. Could have thrown the tight end right up the middle. If they score quickly, they're okay. They had one chance there.
First down at the 11. Prescott, left side, end zone. In and out of the hands of Zeke Elliott. Josh Harvey Clemens on the coverage, but it was there.
Zeke beats him bad off the line of scrimmage. And the ball just hangs just a little bit. Gets caught up and barely nicks. Harvey Clemens makes up for it with a little touch of the ball.
2nd and 10.
Don't want to use any timeouts, so you're going to want to keep throwing the ball on every play.
Washington rushes 5. Prescott has to get rid of it. Flag is down. Incomplete to Beasley. And it's going to be a holding call against Washington.
Holding. Defense number 40. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Well, Rico gathers a red zone threat for them. Runs right down the middle, and Harvey Clemens having a rough time on a couple of plays. Zeke first, and then you have help inside. You don't need to hold the guy.
Prescott, 49 yards passing on this drive, 24 yards rushing.
And it's a great drive by Dallas.
First and goal at the 6.
I don't like running it. I like throwing the ball on each play. Save time.
Looking for Zeke out of the backfield. He led him too much, but defenders were there anyway.
And the ball just kind of gets away from Dak. Well, the back right here lines up, who tells you they might run it to the left unless they motion. There you go. Now all of a sudden they get in a 2-by-2. Beasley's the guy they want to go to after that motion.
2nd and goal. Here's the pass to Beasley. And he's taken out of bounds about 2 yards out. It'll be 3rd and goal.
It's kind of a pick play that allows Beasley to run to the sideline. You can do multiple things off that. They ran that one. 3rd and goal. Biggest decision is going to be if they don't.
Yeah, if they don't, what do you do? Because, you know, field goal, of course, still in play, down a couple of scores.
Now you go with your best play. If it's a run, quarterback, keeper, a bootleg, it's going to be fake to Zeke or give it to him. Quarterback keeps it.
It's Prescott taken off, diving in. What an effort! Prescott for the touchdown. Oh boy, he had to improvise a couple of times in milliseconds, and he found a way to bring it home.
He made this work because it's a running play, and he has multiple options on this, and he literally just he faked it, and he could give it. He could throw the backside slant to the weak side. He decided to fake it, throw it, and then the slant went there, and he kind of got caught in the middle, and he somehow made it work, and that was an amazing dive and touchdown.
Extra point, good, into the net.
I don't know how he got that in. That was impressive.
It was.
You were flat-footed on the 3, and you dove. So now
you've got 1:37 to go. Remember, the Cowboys still have all 3 timeouts.
So you can onside kick or you can kick it deep. A lot of time this is about the trust in your defense. Are you going to for sure keep them from getting a first down? And now we've had this talk. If Tom Brady's on the other side, I'm kicking an onside kick. If you feel like your defense and they're going to play it real safe and you're going to get the 3 and out, it's 100% a kickoff. Right now those two are talking. He's going, hey, what are we going to do on defense here? What are they going to run?
Look at the way Washington's setting up. There's a lot of what I call in-between space here. That's not a bad play either, because there's some crazy bounces and such.
Well, you're going to play for the onside, no question. And I think Dallas trusts their defense. I think they're going to say, we're going to stop them. We're going to kick this deep.
Yep, they just drive it all the way for the touchback. And 1:37 to go. Can Peterson perhaps put this game away with his legs?
Well, this is where I want to see a great coach, someone do something that just makes it easy on your quarterback. Let's run a play you haven't used that's a bootleg, something that gets the defense thinking, okay, we're running it here, this is what we do, it's a safe play call, and then, whoa, they got us with some sort of an play action, and someone's wide open in a flat.
When do you do that?
Coming across the field. I'd do it right now.
Right now, first down.
Getting this big formation, get everyone lined up. See, this tells me they're probably running this.
They do. Peterson in traffic, stop a yard behind the line.
You just know the defense is selling out with everybody. You could sneak a tight end right back under. You get about 10 yards. You know, if they don't even count for him, you get a big play. But I don't want Dallas getting this ball back with 1:20, 10 on the clock.
Peterson at 97 yards. He's become the first running back, age 33 or older, ever to have at least 95 yards in 4 of his first 6 games to start a season. He'd come in with Franco Harris and John Riggins, had done it 3 out of 5 along with Adrian.
All right, now when you got this running back offset with all these receivers up top, see they're all on the same side? That's usually a run to the right or some sort of a neat little...
It is a run to the right. It's Peterson trying to come back to the left. Smith tried to throw a block for him. As Sean Lee tackles Smith while he's at it. And another timeout for Dallas, leaving the Cowboys with 1.
See, now you're in 3rd and 9. So now you're going to tell the quarterback, hey, here you go, now throw it. And it's like, well, you know it's a lot easier on first down, right? I mean, they're not coming with a blitz, a pressure. You know, the pass rush isn't there. They're playing the run. So now you're not going to hand it off. But this is where you want to come back to that Josh Doxson play, that skinny little post, that deep slant. Just throw a bang right inside leverage. Your big receiver. It's been successful today. You know the coverage you're probably going to get.
Smith came over, got some warm-up throws next to Gruden, who looked at his play chart and sent in this one. 3rd and 9. Smith will try to run for it. Doesn't have the angle as Sean Lee closes in on him out of bounds. To stop the clock at 1:18. So
well, this is a double whammy because he's out of bounds, saves Dallas a timeout.
Once the angle was gone for you, might have just wanted to slide down.
Wow, Sean Lee's had some big-time moments in this football game. Dak gets a shot.
Yeah, and a timeout to work with.
If you're Washington, I'm like, what are we doing? Let's be semi-aggressive. We didn't even actually make a throw, an attempt on that drive.
Dallas return man is Beasley with Tavon Austin inactive. Beasley runs up to make the catch, and he's tackled at the 35. Prescott sensational on that last possession.
Well, this is one of those moments where you just went down and scored. You had a hiccup earlier. You gave him 7 points. You can rectify a lot of things with great play in the final few minutes of the game. And right here with a minute to go, this is all anyone ever remembers.
Sends Elliott into a slot to the right. From the pocket, ball tipped and incomplete.
Well, this one, Dak's got to pull the trigger. Watch Beasley on the slant. Right there. That's a big play. And he's the #1 option on that play. And he just hesitated and went back to Swaim.
Payne got a paw on it. Gallup to the right. He caught a first-half touchdown.
I think coaches just saw that and they said, come back to the same play. Look at Beasley. Oh, they're signaling the guitar play, and here comes pressure.
Second and 10, yes. They bring 5. Got hit when he threw it, and just over the head of Beasley. Third down coming up inside of a minute.
Just a touch. Oh. Beasley with a great route. It was like a little slant and go inside, and Dak gets hit right after he throws it.
And again, it was Payne who deflected the first down throw.
Man, you can feel the tension. Both teams need this game. Both teams, big rivalry, NFC East, first place, whatever you want. Here we go.
Cowboys pick up the blitz again. Prescott's pass. What a catch! Beasley reaches up and grabs it right over Moreau for 18.
I mean, that was the best catch I've seen Beasley in a while. He's had some good ones, but then that throw by Dak was perfect under pressure. That's how you're going to win the game. Got to throw it under pressure, be accurate.
Washington gets charged a timeout because of the injury to Moreau. And again, Prescott hits the deck after being hit by Smith.
So you still have one time. You have all day. I mean, this is. I mean, you could attempt it from 4 yards from right here if you had to. I mean, the first thing you're doing is getting this ball to get at least, somewhere between 10 yards or so. So I'm getting this ball out of my hands quickly. I'm calling fast stuff. It's a slant. It's a hitch. But we're getting in field goal range, and then we're going to attack the end zone. You can watch the head.
Moreau at back of the helmet.
Yep, hits the turf. I mean, Beasley's a matchup nightmare. If we just did watch him over and over, he's been open, all the time, and he's outstanding.
Well, Moreau going out's big because their starter Quentin Dunbar already inactive. So they go deep into the reserves.
There goes Beasley. He's going to run Jason Witten's spot. He likes to line up inside right there because now all of a sudden you can go 2 ways, inside or outside.
On first down from the 46. Pass caught, field goal range. Beasley, give him 9.
You're in a tough spot. If you pressure, Beasley's one-on-one. Can't be covered. If you don't pressure, he gets more time and he can read through the whole field right now.
Inside of 30 to go. Prescott's pass Beasley. Washington says he didn't catch it. Officials give him the catch.
Oh, yeah, that was close. Ball looked like it stayed.
And they're going to, before the Cowboys could snap it, they're going to go with a booth review.
Prior to Dallas snapping the ball, we will be reviewing the previous play.
Looked like he had it, but then it looked like he lost it for a second. Did it touch the ground?
The Cowboys are throwing this ball to Beasley, or looking at him on every play, and that looks underneath right there. I think that's just a catch. I don't see anything that hits the ground. It looks close, but
it looked like all the while he had a hand underneath.
Yeah.
And Gene Steratore, do you see anything we're not seeing?
Waited until they. Okay.
Gene, what did you see?
I see catch. I think what also is very interesting is when they stop the game to initiate the replay. They do not want to give Dallas an unfair advantage by stopping this too quick, so they wait until the snap becomes imminent again. So all of those seconds, which are very important, are elapsed before Dallas decides to spike, and then they stop right before the snap. That makes that a fair time elapse and doesn't give the offense an unfair advantage because they want to look at something.
All right, Gene, let's assume it's going to stay as a catch. You got just seconds to go in this game. What are you thinking you're going to do at this point if the ball is in fact maintained as a catch at the 31?
Well, you're gonna want to just spike it. That's the number one thing, because it's first down. It doesn't hurt you at all for 1 second to go off the clock. Get everybody lined up. That way there's no pressure or anything coming. Spike the ball, you have one timeout, and then.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. It was a completed catch.
So you get everyone lined up right now as fast as you can. Just line up. Tell them, Dak, just get lined up. Just stand there. Oh, see, they're going to run a play. If I'm Washington, I'd come after you. They're not going to know who's coming or get it protected.
From here, if they don't gain anything after a spike, it would be in the range of 49 yards.
See, the problem with just get up and snap it is that you can defensively align, and all of a sudden you can't communicate. They have to snap it right now. Clock's going to run.
Actually going to run it right in the middle of the field, and Elliott with 5, 4, 3, and the timeout to come out to try to tie it and send it to overtime.
See, if you spike it, there's 11 seconds. You throw a slant. You take a shot down the field. If they get in there and they drop everybody way deep, you just hand it off and do the same thing.
It felt like there
but if it's
could
cover
have
one
been.
Man, you take a shot to the end zone.
Felt like there could have been, on the math, one shot for an end zone.
Yeah, that's if you spike it, you have a timeout. You come out and say, quarterback, it's 2 plays. We're handing it off if they're dropping way deep. Otherwise, we're throwing a go route down the sideline to our big guy.
It's going to be a 47-yard field goal try to send it to overtime. Marr, who has made 16 consecutive field goal attempts since missing the first of the season. Out of a hold by Chris Jones.
Oh, here we go, both sides.
We got movement. Busting across was Payne. They're going to make this a 42 or a 52-yard field goal try.
Snap infraction.
Oh,
Offense,
it's big.
number 91.
Oh, he moved the ball.
Penalty. Second down.
Turns it into a 52-yard attempt to tie it.
Oh, let's see.
Vladisur, the longtime
LP.
snapper.
Yeah.
So 52 yards to try to get it to overtime. Brett Marr. It all rides on his toe, and the kick is, oh, it hits the upright, no good. Washington wins it.
They end the streak. Dallas 2 years in a row. 2-0, 2-0. That comes to an end. You thought he made it? It was close.
It was hooking. I was holding my breath the whole way.
Oh, my goodness. What a football game.
You know what? From 47, if it had been kicked like this, it would have been good.
You're exactly right. That ball hooks inside that line.
Yes, it would have been good.
Genius point, Jim Nance. That ball goes in from 47. Oh. He's looking. Oh, I tell you what, if you're a Washington fan, what a game. You guys played great. Alex Smith knows he did it. Big time performance by everyone. Adrian Peterson, outstanding today. If you're Dallas, devastating.
The Redskins improved to 4-2. They have Dallas and the Eagles 2 games behind them in the loss column now.
That's big too, because these games, you know, at the end of the year, it gets real close every year. Oh.
And for the Cowboys, dating back to last December, they have now alternated wins and losses in 10 consecutive games.
Oh.
And continue to find misery on the road. 0-4. Dallas needed 10 points in the last minute and 40 seconds to try to tie it. They almost got there. And that's what we're talking about. Look at the NFC East now.
Oh, there's
top
Jerry
of the
Jones.
frame. Jerry Jones.
It's the entire Jones family right there.
Tracy, down to you.
Well, thanks a lot, Jim. And first off, how about that ending? What an experience for your first NFC East Dallas-Washington rivalry game.
You know, I got to take my hats off to the defense, because offensively, we really didn't do it. We did enough, but our defense saved us today. And just to kind of have this type of ending is no better feeling.
But what a day you had as well, pacing this offense. How do you continuously do it? Everyone wants to say at the age of 33.
The strength of God, you know, just blessed me to be able to recover fast and get ready for Sunday. And outside of that, those guys up front who really get things going, and just the offensive group. So I think we all work hand in hand, and, you know, we just got to keep this thing rolling.
Appreciate it. Great game today. Thanks a lot. Jim?
You know, this division, Tony, hasn't had a repeat division champ in 13 years. And now, right now, it belongs to the Redskins at the moment at 4-2. Winning it 20-17. Tonight on CBS 60 Minutes, followed by new episodes of God Friended Me, NCIS Los Angeles, and Madam Secretary. For Tony and Tracy, all the crew, Jim Nance saying so long from Landover, Maryland. You've been watching the NFL on CBS, the home of Super Bowl 53.